right, so appreciate you guys. Again, if you want to check out this whole topic and conversation is brought to you by at njq.quintero on Instagram. That's not official. We actually haven't set anything up. I'm just putting it out there because I want you guys to check it out, and I'm really inspired by this conversation and topic. So I just want to give back. I'm all about seeing the people, especially the people that are fucking around me and grew up with me and whatever. Like, I want to see us win. If I don't know you, I want to see you win. If you ever have a conversation with me and we really get into it, you'll find out that, like, I always want you to win, and I want everybody around me to win, and I want myself to win. I just want us all to win. So with that being said, that was my story about transparency and how, or not my story about transparency. I don't have a story about transparency, so to say. No, but I'm gonna tell you some real shit that I keep saying transparency and vulnerability or vulnerable like so casually, but I'm gonna tell you one motherfucking thing, especially guys. Yo, we got a fucking issue when it comes to this. Real shit. Listen up.
Damn, dude.
I'm gonna tell you guys something, especially for you dudes. Women, you don't have to say yeah, whatever. Just smile and nod if you see your dude get this and appreciate this. Which is, yo, as a man, being vulnerable is an absolute super strength.
Damn, dude.
I'm gonna say that again. Being vulnerable is an absolute super strength. If your confidence sucks, be vulnerable. If you don't know how to talk to fucking girls, guys, friends, whatever, go be vulnerable. Be transparent about who you are and be open to the fact that, okay, not everybody's gonna like you. And the people who do like you, appreciate them and feed that relationship love. Obviously, this is all easier said than done, but like on some real shit, that's really what it takes. Being vulnerable is a superpower, because I'm gonna tell you some shit. You're gonna hear me. I've said this in several episodes that I've recorded, and I'm gonna keep fucking saying it because this is some of the realest shit that you can ever hear as a man or a human, I should say, but more specifically men. This really applies to, which is, oh shit, I forgot to set the timer again. Sorry. Whatchamacallit? Vulnerability. And I learned, shout out Mark Halverson, if you ever hear this, I keep shouting out. If you don't hear this, I'm sorry, but the energy's out there, and hopefully somebody tells you if you don't listen to this or hear your own name through whatever internet feed. There's a lot of you guys get mentioned, like my homies, people around me, and like if you don't listen to the show, you're not gonna know. And that's kind of a hidden little gem, and it's like, yo, maybe when I die, you'll go back and listen also and be like, yo, he talked about me. So shout out Mark Halverson. We had a conversation. Our first conversation we went to lunch in a class. We had a class together and we went to lunch, and he was just so perplexed as to why I was so like hardened. You know, like I was just like so mad dogging people. Nobody's fucking been through what I've been through. You gotta fucking earn your right to know anything about me. You know, like, who are you to get to know about me? Who are you to know my fucking struggle? Who are you? You don't understand. You know, that's where I came from. That was my perspective. I was that guy. I was like, the fuck you looking at, sort of, you know? Yeah, I was a nice dude, but like, if I wasn't a nice guy to you, then I was probably like very scary. You know, like, you would either know me as like playful and just fucking goofy and like really weird, or like, yo, like, don't fuck with this guy. So it's kind of like how I would put myself. So at that time, I was in this like, yo, don't fuck with me, I'm that guy type of thing. And he was just like, what the like, why are you like this? You know, like, that's not what he said. But what he did was at lunch, and I'm going to tell the story 1,000 billion trillion times because this shit's life changing. And I know men, dudes, boys, teens, whatever need this. And it is, he asked me, he looked me in the eye. And keep in mind, I'm like, fucking thugged out, like, hell yeah, like, I'm with the shit, you know? And this fool just sees past all my bullshit, all my little tough guy shit and all that, and he's just like, Mark looks me in the eye and he's like, Calvin, when's the last time you cried? And me, my hard ass was like, proud that I haven't cried in so long. To me, I thought, yo, I'm a fucking G. I haven't cried in fucking 11 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, my best friends got murdered. I might have cried there, but like outside of that, I can't even, I don't even know. You know, I was like, maybe when my girlfriend broke up with me, like way back in the day or something. And I was just, I got really good at like hiding and suppressing my feelings, you know? And so he asked me, he's like, when's the last time you cried? And I told him that, and he looked at me, and this is the part that's so life changing. Listen up.
Damn, dude.
That's what that basically means. But he asked me, he looked me in the eye, he said, Calvin, how can you possibly call yourself a real man? I was like, the fuck? Like, what did you say to me? You know, that, like, I don't know if that's what I said, but that's how I took it. In my head, I'm just like, the fuck? Like, where are you going with this? You know, like in the back of my head, like, oh, hell no, like, I'm not trying to fight. You know, like, the fuck? And I'm just kind of like, what? You know, because he had some age on me too. And it's like, he wasn't saying it to be mean, you know, and I really understood that. He was staring me in the fucking eye, like across the table, like that it was very, very authentic. You know, I'm not like, you're trying to bully me, like, but yeah, no, the ego in me was just like, what the fuck, you know? And he just asked me, like, how can you call yourself a real man if you can't cry? A real man can feel every range of emotions. A real man can cry. A real man can feel sad. A real man can feel love, compassion, intimacy, romance, anger, pain, you know, whatever. Like, you're allowed to do that. And that's, a real man can experience and feel all of those feelings and all of those sensations. And I was just like,
Damn, dude. Damn, dude. Damn, dude.
yo, I didn't know what to say, you know. I was just like, what? And to be completely honest, I can't remember the rest of the conversation because that just absolutely floored me. And if you're a dude and you're listening to this as, oh yeah, you know, that for you, nah, apply this shit to yourself, homie. Be a real man, dog. I'm just kidding. No, but really though, apply it to yourself and see if that's some, actually try it on, see if it fits. You know what I'm saying? If you're too hard to hear that, go back. Because if you can't cry and you can't feel sad and you can't just allow that, you're not all the way like a grown man. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of ties into like, if you let somebody else make you angry, then you just gave them the power to control you. You know, and it's like, that's not being a real man, you know, whatever the fuck that means to you. But like, you know, truly, it's like, how can you be, and let's even take that, you know, the word man out of there. Let's kind of like flip this and put it on women a little bit, where it's like, I'm thinking it's like, all right, like, if you're, or people, you know, it doesn't have to just be women or men or whatever, but like, you know, just people in general. Like, okay, can you stand up for yourself? Do you know when to speak up? Do you know when it's too far? What are your boundaries? You know, shit like that. And I think that's one thing that is dope about being vulnerable and being transparent about being vulnerable, is that like, it creates a safe space for other people. Like, if you want to create a safe space for yourself or your people around you or whatever, it's going to take vulnerability. And that's why I started off this show with like my first few episodes with some, you know, some like real ass shit. Like, yo, I'm gonna let you guys into where I'm at with my relationship, how it failed, where I fell short, where, you know, where I wasn't with the shits, this and that, why I thought I was fucking cool, you know, like what made me hype myself up, like all those things. Like, I was just real about it. Like, I'm not trying to come in and fucking trick you and make you think I'm cool by wearing fucking shoes that you guys think are cool, or you know, I'm not gonna come in and try and fucking do things for you guys to like me. I'm just gonna come in and keep it real. You know, if you don't like my shoes, if you don't like how I dress, if you don't like my tattoos, if you don't like things I say, that's fucking fine. You don't have to like it. That's not even the point of this, you know? The point is, again, is authenticity, and what falls exactly in line with authenticity is transparency and vulnerability, dude. And it's like, as soon as we have that with each other, every person starts opening up. Dude, and it's like that makes the difference of being a fucking real motherfucker or just like, oh, that guy's cool. You know, which would you rather be? Like, especially like, you know, anybody who this is really like speaking to, like, what would you rather be? You know, like, we have the choice to like to live a life that we love. You know what I'm saying? And to be vulnerable, it helps the next man and it helps the next person, because if I come vulnerable, then you're gonna be real with me. If I come on some not being vulnerable, you're not gonna be real with me. And think about the difference. I think about this. My homie Sebastian always says this to me, and like this, he's the first time he said it, it really stuck with me. And it was like, he's like, "Hey, what up? How's it going?" And I was like, "Oh, good, man, chilling. What's up?" And instead of being like, "Oh yeah, cool, blah blah blah," and keep chopping it up, this one stops and is like, "Bro, no." I'm like, "What?" like picture this, like two dudes talking, you know, like, "Hey, what up, bro? How's it going?" "Oh, chilling, man, chilling." "Bro, no, really. How's your heart? How are you?" And that's what my homie Sebastian says and asks. And I'm like, yo, just you stopping and doing that and distinguishing that just made a difference in my life, because now I can answer honestly and openly, and I don't have to be, "Oh, I'm cool, I'm chilling." Like, really, you just broke up with your girl. You just split from the house. You're living back at your fucking dad's pad that you grew up in. You're broke as fuck. That's chilling? Really? That's, "Oh, I'm cool, man, chilling." Really? 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 Real shit though. Excuse me. How many times are we just, "Oh yeah, what's good, blah blah blah, chilling, yeah, what's up, da 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 da, oh, such and such, blah blah blah." Nah, man, this is the bullshit. You can replace that with anything. "Hey, what's good, man? Hey, how's it going?" However the fuck you talk. Howdy, what's on the tube? Hello, what is going on? You know, however the fuck you talk. Like, like, we gotta have real conversations, dude. How many times? "Hey, how's it going?" "Good, good, cool." What the fuck is that? Really, stop. Good, 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 cool. That's some fucking bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Why? It's like we're scared to say anything because we're just so afraid of being judged by the next person. Any times where somebody's been like, "Hey, how are you?" I'm like, "Bro, shit fucking sucks." They don't go, "Damn, that sucks." They're like, "Damn, what happened? Are you all right? Is there anything I can do?" Now I just brought the best out of somebody. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that's what we have the opportunity to do, is to bring the best out of somebody when we're transparent, when we're vulnerable and we're transparent about it. Those are very powerful words. I want to make sure I say them in the right orders too, where for when and where it applies, because I believe that the words we choose to say are very important because it creates our reality. Now, like, we can break this down into, like I said, I enjoy breaking shit down, which is, words are so powerful. Think about this. Like, what does the word "because" mean? How many times have you just said the word "because" without actually thinking about the meaning of it? You get the gist of it, right? But like, really allow this to like hit you in a deep way where it's not just like, "Oh, but whatever, those are just words, stupid." Like, "Oh, butterfly." No. What I'm saying is, like, when we really choose our words carefully and intentionally, it creates a whole new existence for us. So, for example, the difference between saying "and" or "but." I might have just trailed off and said something and then completely switched the subject, or I don't know if that just happened in my head. I might have just said something and then switched it. If I didn't, never mind me. I'm just fucking, I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Never mind me. No, but the words that we say are so important and they mean so much. Oh, I know what I'm saying. Because. Okay. I was about to go fucking somewhere different. Yeah. The word "because." I knew I had said something. The word "because." What does that mean? How many times do you say that word and not actually stop and recognize like how powerful of a word that is? What gets me crazy, what makes me go crazy is like people use the word "because" as an excuse, and the word "because" is not an excuse word. The word because is a very strong and powerful word, and it has a lot of intention behind it, especially if you use it like that. That's why spelling is called spelling, because it's like it writes spells. Not in a spell of like, ooh, but like it does create the reality that exists. Without anything written down, you would have no reference point. Like, what is this show called? If I show you the label, and it's like, oh, well, that's called Damn Dude. Like, okay, like that's what I just created with words. I spelled something. So what happens is the word because, it's to be cause. To be the cause of something is a very powerful position. Now, oh, because this, that, because. No, it's to be cause in what you are doing. I did this because blank. It's not an excuse. That is a powerful statement. But how many times do we use it like it's an excuse, Whoa. Shit's blowing up. Oh, cool. Food. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like, to be cause, that's powerful, and there's a difference. And it's really, it's interesting, because a lot of times we just say shit without even knowing what we're saying. Another one that I'll just throw out there that I learned that I really like is the difference between saying and or but. And this is really powerful. If you've never heard this or thought about this, like, let this sink in and really apply it to your life, because this shit makes the difference between you being appreciative and creating from a powerful standpoint, creating your life from a powerful standpoint, or creating your life from a place of excuses. So what do I mean by that is like, all right, well, let's say if you use the word and, that is going to be a power word. Like, how does that even make sense? Well, if you say, I went to the store and bought juice. That is, like, think about that statement, really. Let the words just, like, we're going as basic as can be. I went to the store and bought juice. Now let's hit the reverse. I went to the store but bought juice. I went to the store and bought juice. I went to the store but bought juice. Now, okay, yeah, it's kind of silly, but this is powerful. And I went to the store, and what tense does that come from? Who does that come from? Whose reason is that? I went to the store and I bought juice. And I wanted to. But that's an excuse. It's almost like you're starting to apologize in the sentence for no real reason, and it robs you of your power. If I'm giving an interview to somebody and they say, "Oh, I went to school, but I stopped at my junior year." I'm like, okay, well, like, what, that sounds shitty, like that's a crap, like that's an excuse is how it comes off. But it's like, I went to college and I dropped out my junior year and I stopped my junior year, whatever. There's a big difference because it's like, yo, I chose to do this. And within the word and, it gives you the power to choose, because it's like, I chose this, and it like, and equals I chose this, basically. And then it's like, but is like, well, I was at the will of what was there, but this, but that. It's like, no, I did this and this. Versus, oh, I did this, but, like, no, like, why? That's an excuse. But is an excuse, and is a creation. So it's like, where are we going to come from, excuses or creation? I would much rather come from creation, Excuse me. So, what we say is very powerful, and that's why I'm really digging specifically when we got, this title request, which is transparency and vulnerability with each other, and art that creates transparency and vulnerability with each other. Like, this is how we connect. And this is the other piece of this too, is connection. We're getting so disconnected in this day and time, wearing masks, being online. We're not, like, having group meetings in person. Social events are different. Concerts are different. All these things where we have fun, the fair, all these things. It's like that connectedness when you're on a team, when you're winning, camaraderie, like that shit feels good, man. Like, we need that as humans. that satisfies our spirit and our soul, you know, like that's who we really are. And that's what we're supposed to do. We're not humans of being alone, you know. That's what we crave and need human interaction. We need energy. We need all of this. That's why depression and suicide is so high in places where you can't go outside, where you're stuck alone by yourself for long periods of time, you know. Um, like we need that connection. And I think that's what's so cool is people anything that can create and encourage people to be vulnerable and transparent about what they're feeling, what they're doing, what they're going through. That's what we need more of, because that is what connects each other. That is how we fucking share love. That is how we make connection, meet people, have a good time. You know, it's like, imagine how it feels to throw a party and not one person shows up. Like, that sucks, you know? But it's like, why does it suck? Because nobody showed up. But why? Why is that a sucky feeling that nobody showed up? You know, like, what? Let's think about that. Like, why is it sucky if nobody shows up to your event that you're hosting? Why does that suck? Like, what is sucky about it? Okay, well, let's look at what actually happened in real life. What actually happened if you threw an event is that most likely you spent time, money, and energy. You invested it or spent it, however you want to look at it. You used time, money, and energy to have an event. You know, to do something special for your people or whoever. So why is it so sad if you were like, I'm doing this to have a good time for everybody to be happy? And why do you feel sad if people don't come, even though you completely did it to have a good time? It's that connectedness. When we lack that connectedness, that we completely miss out. And we completely feel like shit. It doesn't feel good. You know, that's why getting turned down or dumped or whatever, like, it just doesn't feel good, is because of that, you know? We lack that connectedness. And this is trippy too. It's like when you work a job you hate, you miss and lack that connectedness with yourself and people that you would want to be connected with. You know, if you have a bunch of shitty coworkers, like, that sucks. You know, you should not be in a position where you have shitty coworkers. Yeah, there might be a handful, deal with it, whatever, do what you got to do to overcome it. But again, don't let an idiot control you. You know, just because somebody's anger or whatever, because they're more angry, don't let them control you. You know, like, why give an idiot your power? Like, that part doesn't make sense, just because people can make you mad, you know? You know, it's just really trippy. We shouldn't give others our power to do that, but we do need to stay connected. And the more we stay connected, the more we feel good. You know, it doesn't feel good to score a touchdown by yourself. You know what I mean? Like, with no other players on the field. Think about that. How's it feel to go score a touchdown by yourself in the stadium? It's just like, what? You didn't even do anything. Like, damn, that sucks. But now let's add a bunch of people and you score a touchdown. It's the exact same act. Why is one fucking glorious and the other's not? Well, it's because you had to work through other people's connections and you had to get through other people, and you indulged and enjoyed other people's energy and connectedness and all of those things, you know? And that's why, like, scoring a touchdown is so dope when it's legit. You know what I'm saying? When there's other people to connect to it. That's why, like, when you watch UFC or sports or whatever, after all this Barona shit, it's not the same. It's nowhere near as fun, because, like, the connectivity is just not there. Like, the real fans, like, it's not as exciting, you know? So I think that's interesting, and that is what's going to connect each other, is being vulnerable, being real. And I guess another thing to look at is, like, well, how do you start being vulnerable? How do you start being real? Because I know I used to misinterpret being vulnerable and transparent with being outwardly depressing. Now, these are two different things. You know what I'm saying? Like, being vulnerable and being real is not the same as being outwardly depressed. Being outwardly you know, it's like, oh, I'm being vulnerable. I'm an idiot. I'm so stupid. That's not being vulnerable. That's being an asshole to yourself. and being annoying to the people around you. So don't do that, because this is some different shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not it's not what this is. We got to respect ourselves, love ourselves, you know? And the more we love ourselves, the more transparent we become, kind of. I realize that, like, the more that I practice loving myself, the more I'm willing to share and be real about stuff. Like, I understand a lot of stuff I'm sharing. A lot of people are going to take it and be like, and just use it to judge me and to create or to form an opinion about me, or to compare it against their own life, or to anti-compare it, you know, oh, that guy, you know, shit like that. But the truth is, if you're actually listening, this is and will resonate with you, because it's like, it's kind of funny. I actually don't like this phrase at all. Real, recognize real. I like what it means. I just don't like the words of it. I think it sounds stupid, but it's played out. But really though, it's like, you know, authenticity realizes and recognizes authenticity. When somebody's sharing some real ass shit, it's like, for example, when you go on the internet or you're on Instagram or something, it's like somebody just drops some fucking heat and you're like, that shit was fucking fire, bro. Like, this motherfucker killed it. And then somebody's just like, oh yeah, but like, then why do you have a blah blah blah? And then everybody's like, bro, like, did you hear anything the guy said? Like, why are you talking about his shoes? Did you not just hear what he said? You know, and it's like, when authenticity exists, I feel like people will come to have your back in that sort of way, like, fast and almost immediately, you know, because it's like, you're always going to root for the guy who is being the realest and the rawest. Well, maybe not always, but like, you know what I'm saying? So it's interesting, because this ties into what we're going to get into next, which is like celebrating each other and our wins, and the different ways that people will support or not support like what the fuck we're doing. It's really interesting, man. I love simplifying all these ideas and just really getting deep into it, because there's so many interesting perspectives on all this, you know? Yeah, dude, that's a trip. So we're gonna take a break. We'll be right back here.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude!